As of today, Cape Coral has taken 46 reported firearm thefts since January 1st. Now, that sounds like a high number, but when you look back historically, it's about a 20% reduction year over year. Last year it was 57. So we are improving in that aspect, but it is definitely a category in which we have some room to improve. When we have firearms that are stolen, whether it's from an unlocked vehicle burglary, a house burglary, a business that's been burglarized overnight, whatever the case may be, and that gun is now out there. We don't know who the gun is going to, we don't know what it's going to be used for, but we can bet that those are going to be more nefarious purposes. So it's a huge concern for law enforcement throughout Southwest Florida, and specifically for Cape Coral. What we're doing is, number one, we're getting the word out by doing interviews like this and really hammering home the idea of lock it or lose it. And that's not victim blaming. It's not putting the onus on the property owner, but what it is our way of saying, help us to help you. If owners are securing their personal belongings, whether it's a firearm or anything else, and they are locking their car doors, locking their homes, if they have an alarm system, making sure that it is not only audible but also monitored, that helps us to be able to reduce the number of and the likelihood of burglaries from occurring. The second thing that we're wanting people to do is to remember that your firearm needs to be stored safely. You know, if they're going to have a firearm in the home, tucking it in that sock drawer is not securely securing that firearm. It's hiding it maybe from a cursory observer, but a burglar who's breaking into the house is checking all of the regular hiding spots that people put things of value. So they're looking in that sock drawer. They're looking in the nightstand. You know, it's a small investment, but it pays off. Getting a small gun safe, whether it's one for a single firearm or something that's larger that can hold multiple firearms, that makes it that much harder for a burglar to get in and get out quickly, to take that firearm. They're going to have to take that whole safe with them, or they're going to have to crack that safe. And then the other thing is reminding people that if you see something that's out of the ordinary, that weird car that's driving through your neighborhood that you don't recognize, the person who you don't know, the peddler who's coming to the door who doesn't have a city-issued peddler's permit and something doesn't sound right about their story, there's no harm in giving us a call, having us come out and check it. We'd much rather come out and find out, nope, the person was actually legitimate, they just didn't have their peddler's permit, than to find out that they were actually casing homes after the fact. But the one that jumps to mind is one that occurred last year where we had an officer-involved shooting. Subject broke into homes in the north end of Cape Coral. I believe that you covered the story. Broke into vehicles in the north end of Cape Coral. The subject stole a firearm. Officers responded and he took flight, fled into the water in a nearby lake or canal, and raised the firearm at one of our officers and was subsequently shot by one of our officers. You know, that is an example right there of what we're talking about, and we had it happen right here in Southwest Florida. You know, we encourage people who are choosing to own a firearm to do so responsibly. Part of that is securing that firearm. Now, that said, you can do all the right things and still be a victim, but you're just that much less likely to be a victim if you've done those things to make sure that you're securing that firearm properly. You're making it harder for them to take it from you. You're not using your car as a poor man's gun safe because you don't want the gun in the house and you're just keeping it in your vehicle. Your glove box does not provide any real modicum of security for that firearm. So you've got to really think about, you know, the responsibility you're taking on as a firearms owner. Well, we just want to remind people about our Lock It or Lose It campaign. It's our slogan. We're reminding you, remove your valuables from your car. That includes your gun. Lock your car door. And if you see anything out of the ordinary, don't hesitate to call the Cape Coral Police Department, 574-3223.